How you doing? I'm making this video on running boards I ordered off of eBay, and there's a lot of videos out there on how to. But what I really wanted to do was show the running boards and the brackets, stuff that I couldn't get answers for before I ordered them. That I know a lot of people would have the same answers I was trying to get answered before I actually ordered them. So it's going to be a combination, me installing them and a little bit of a review of the running boards. Everything came in. They're GT racers from California off of eBay. Of course, the box, they're made from Japan, China. About everything we get made from China. But a few of the questions I had that I couldn't really verify from the pictures and the information was the thickness of the brackets. How strong were they? How durable was everything? You know, because I got these for $103 off of eBay, and I was worried about the quality. Well, I don't know if you can see it, but these are good, thick, heavy-duty brackets. Solid. They definitely have a good thickness to them. These will bolt up nicely. Now I laid everything out when I got it. Everything's here. Everything came in. I counted my bolts and nuts. These are the bolts that bolt the bracket to the running boards, and these are what's going to fasten it to the truck. The brackets too, because my truck already has studs sticking out. Now these are the running boards. They're 3-inch running boards, and if you can tell, they got a little bit of a, it's not a 90, but it's like a 45 just pointing back at the truck on each end. Okay? These are solid 2 brown, and they got the studded for the bolts to screw right in the bottom. There's 3 brackets per side. The directions, very simple, but it's got everything you need on the instructions. It even had the torque of what to torque the bolts to. Now when I got these in, you always want to examine your running boards and stuff, but I live in South Carolina. They come from California. On the very bottom of one of the running boards, it was on the bottom, so you ain't gonna be able to see it, but there was a couple little nicks, one there and one there. They weren't bad at all, but my concern was, in 2 or 3 years, would that become a rust point? So I just taped it up, and while everything was nice and clean, I just sprayed it. You're not going to be able to see it once I install them on the truck. The paint didn't match up perfectly, but it don't need to. It's just a black paint. Once I install them, you ain't going to be able to see that anyway, because it's sort of down at an angle at the bottom of the truck. Now, guys, anytime you're doing a project like this, blow off your working area. Use a jack, but then use jack stands. I pulled my jack out of the way once I got it up on jack stands, because the jack would actually have been in the way. But do not trust hydraulic jacks. Some of them are smaller than this one, and they can, I've had too many of my friends get hurt where the jack fell or the hydraulics will leak down on them. So please, work safely. I use jack stands. I jacked up truck, put the jack stands under, so I'm ready to go with that. Now I'm not going to sit here and show it step by step, but I am going to click in and show certain things. One thing I do want to show you on mine, I got a 2016 Nissan Frontier crew cab. This truck comes with already studs. 6 studs for the running board. So this installation is going to be a breeze. And in the directions, it tells you step by step. Now on this one, on the back one towards the back wheel, they wanted the slip to go towards the back tire, like that one. The other two on this one, they wanted the lip pointing towards the front of the tire. They clearly have it on the instructions with the air pointing towards the front and everything. They even got the torque of what to torque it down. Now, you know, when you install these, you just loosely put everything on, get everything adjusted, then you tighten it up when you're done. But anyway, I'm going to stop the video for a minute, or I'm going to set it over here on the jack, and I'm going to get to work, and I'm going to start bolting these mounts up. The running board's how you tell the left from the right. It clearly had the instructions. From the very end to this rubber pad, the one that went to the back tire is the shortest distance. This was 12 inches. The other end was 14 inches. And this one's actually the passenger side. The one I had to paint was the driver's side. So like I said, when you first get them, open them up, examine everything, count your bolts and nuts, lay everything out. Go ahead and get your tools you're going to need. Get everything ready, and that way you can get to start. Alright, I'm going to get started, and I'll be back with you shortly. Alright guys, I got on the driver's side running board. I like the way it looks. Nice heavy duty mounted. I like the way it sets the profile. Of course, I still got it on jack stands because I want to show you one thing. Hold on one second. On your front support, near the front of the car, just let it adjust. Okay, well, you got these studs. I'm going to talk to you a minute about them, but you got this metal plate right here that the stud comes up out of. Well, right here on this side, you see the two metal plates, so it makes this set crooked, and it angles a little bit. See the bracket? It's angled just a slight bit towards the front of the car, just because here it's got one rail. Here you see with the two pieces of metal, so it's causing that thing to, instead of sitting flat on it, it's sitting at a slight angle. There's not a dang thing you can do about that. There is nothing at all you can do about that, and I'll show you why in just a second. But I got them all bolted on. I am going to talk to you in a minute about the studs. There is something you need to know about them. Alright, I wanted to show y'all this stud. See, the whole stud isn't threaded. You see, by the time you put the metal bracket up, I even took the washers, the lock washers, and pre-tightened them down to flatten them a little bit. When you put this up, you barely get a half a thread. But the problem is, you put a wrench on that and start tightening it down. What happens is you get another half a thread, so you get about a half of a turn. You get a quarter and a quarter. Well, what happens is when you go to start tightening that down, you ain't got that nut on the threads enough, so it just strips that little bit. It just pulls that little bit of thread you got, because you ain't got multiple threads. You just got maybe a half of a turn, and it just strips that stud. So this one up here, I put just a flat washer, and then I put one of them self-locking nuts on. And what that does is that allows me to get 3 or 4, 5 good turns on it. and it don't strip it out. I just wanted to show you all that because I'm telling you, if you try to, on these Nissan Frontier crew cabs where they're already pre-studded, if you try to put the washer, the lock washer, and the nut, you're gonna have your hands full. All right, guys, this is the finished product. Got a nice 3-inch bar. Crew cab, Nissan Frontier. The second side went on about 40 minutes, a lot faster.